Becky, I like what you said, in post-game press conferences. You gotta keep teaching, encouraging them, teach, encourage, get back to work and love them hard. But talk about the frustration level when you know they know what to do, but it's not doing it.
I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's my kids, we need a timeout or something. No, I mean, we have to, everybody has choices in the whole thing, and there has to be a certain level of accountability. Hopefully it comes from the players. I talk about an accountable locker room. But it has to first start with the individual. Then when you're doing your job, then you can hold others accountable. I should really be the third line of accountability here. But they know what to do. Why we do it some nights and not others, I don't know. If I knew the answer, I would ensure that it didn't happen. Just human nature a lot of times. I think, you can relax, you can let your foot off the pedal. I don't know. The whole conversation probably looks different if we finish out that Indiana game the way we should have, instead of giving that one away.
What concerns you about the wings? Obviously without age, what concerns you about the wings?
I'm always concerned when, the best player goes out, because that's somebody else's opportunity, and somebody, a player that is hungry for opportunity, is a dangerous player, because they really value the moment. But obviously, like, Enrique's still always a handful. You can't let her get going. I'm sure she's going to get more looks. But it's just a next woman up mentality. And more so than us being concerned about them, I'm concerned about us. I always want us to be about ourselves. Are we executing? Are we at the standard and the effort level that is necessary to win professional basketball games? If we do that, we'll be all right. We'll be just fine. But you can't lose attention to detail or attention to focus because a player's not playing. Honestly, that has nothing to do with us. Let's be about us, and handle every opponent with the appropriate respect.
One final question. Cycle of duty. I do a lot of numbers. What's the most important number that you look at after a game and during a stretch?
A number?
Or a stat?
Oh man, I'm a numbers person, so I like looking at a lot of stats. Total nerd for sure. I mean, obviously, you're always looking at rebounds and turnovers. Those are always big numbers. Winning those battles. Those are probably two that jump out. Obviously, shooting. I'm not so much concerned with our shooting percentage as I am with our shot quality. Are we getting good looks? Nobody's out there trying to miss shots.
Coach, I'm here with the WAC and wanted to go back to your playing days and why you initially chose Colorado State to begin with.
Well, for one, they really wanted me. They really wanted me. No, I went on a visit. I really connected with their coaching staff. Felt like it was a place I knew I wanted to play right away. And it was a place that I felt was had a lot of potential. But really, it was just connecting with some of the coaches that I chose there. And like I said, the opportunity for growth.
And then once you established yourself as a player, what made you want to continue to stay at Colorado State? And obviously,
Back in the day, you couldn't just transfer whenever you wanted to transfer. There was penalties. And the NCAA needs to take a serious look at that, because you're disservicing these kids. You have to learn how to have hard conversations. Don't jump ship when it gets hard. Some resiliency, some problem solving skills. That will prepare you for life, to be good citizens in life. So, if you want to transfer once in the portal, fine. But like when you're jumping ship every year, it might be you, not the ship. And I don't think kids want to hear that, but that's facts. But I was staying at Colorado State no matter what. I loved it there. I loved my experience there. Loved my teammates that I went to work with every day. Loved Fort Collins. And I built a ton of really great relationships. I mean, a lot of my most sturdy friendships are still the ones that I met back in, 1995, 96, being a part of the Colorado State Rams. So, I loved my time there. So I wasn't looking to transfer.
Well, when you look at your time in the WAC, I mean, what stands out? What's the favorite memory for you?
Well, for one thing, the WAC was huge back in the day. We had I don't know how many teams, but we went to Hawaii. We were all over in conference. And that was kind of cool. The places that we got to go, San Diego, Utah is a beautiful state. Of course, UNLV. I mean, so I really liked the places that we got to go and visit, being an athlete there. I don't know. We went, I think my first tournament was in New Mexico, was in Albuquerque, and then it was in Las Vegas the rest of the 3 years. So that was always fun as a college kid to go to Las Vegas. Now I have to live there. So full time, which I still love. But
Hey, Becky, just. Sorry, you can go first. It's okay. Sorry. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. Becky, what role do analytics play? A lot of coaches live and die by them, but what role do they play in your coaching decisions?
I think they tell a story, but I don't live and die by them. I think there's a lot more to basketball. I think there's a lot more to coaching than just numbers. I mean, computers can spit out numbers. I think are they definitely useful and helpful in some situations, and I think they can paint a picture for you. But I kind of feel like most coaches kind of already have an idea of what's going on, and that's just like mathematical reinforcement, which is nice. But I defer a little bit to feel as well, not just the pure numbers.
You just jump to Zoom really quick. Callie and Nikias, we'll go 1, 2, and then we'll come back to the room.
What have your conversations been like with Jelena Lloyd? I know she suggested coming off the bench a while ago. Has that been revisited?
You're nosy. Those are my conversations with her. But yes, she brought it up again. But no, she's not coming off the bench yet.
Got it. Thank you.
Nikias?
Hi, Coach. I just wanted to ask how you were doing in the midst of this season's been up and down for you. Just how have you kind of navigated the season? Like, have you leaned more into family to kind of step away from the game a little bit, or just how has the season been for you?
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for asking that. I lean into my people, family, and during All-Star, spending time with family, my kids and stuff. But coaching staff, some of the staff on the organization, but I tend to, a lot of times when I get real angry or really upset, I tend to withdraw. I go ISO in some ways, which I understand is a weakness for me sometimes. Sometimes it's a strength, but sometimes leadership is lonely. And, so I try to give where I can, but I do certainly lean on people to kind of come around me and shore me up in some ways as well.
Got you. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about, from a schematic perspective, things you've seen that you guys need to adjust on film, et cetera, just going into this third quarter of the season?
There's a lot we can get better at. I just want to see the defensive end be taken care of. I want us to switch properly, communicate properly, box out properly, and just have a level of execution on the defensive end. And it's funny because, you're dealing with pros and stuff, but like the fundamentals are the fundamentals. The same basic stuff you're working on, we work on every day to master them. I want those mastered. Boxing out should be a given. Communicating and reading and switching and all that stuff should, we should be aces at that. No pun intended. But it's just a constant pursuit to get better. And I don't think that changes if you're 20-4 or 12-13 or what. It's a constant pursuit to get better.
Super cool. And what piece of advice would you give people who want to be in your shoes one day and coach collegiately or beyond?
Advice: watch a lot of basketball, study, be around people that you can learn from, and be a sponge. Be the last one to talk, first one to listen, and like I say, get around the best people possible that you know you can learn from. Because I had a lot of people invest in me. That helped along the journey. Nobody gets here by themselves.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, coach, just going back to your playing days, when you weren't drafted, but you navigated out to become the player and coach you are, how were you able to do that and find ways when, you know, you weren't necessarily given the opportunity of being drafted right away?
Honestly, I'm thankful for my journey. I think it built things in me. You know, people telling you no or not picking you never feels good, but it's part of life. People get told no every day. Part of my journey was figuring out how to just make a way, you know. So even though I wasn't drafted every day in camp, I just took it one day at a time. Like, you're not cutting me today. I'm gonna do everything in my power to not get cut today. And then, you know, it's funny because you actually build really great habits that way. Because you know you have to play hard. You have to execute. You have to know every scheme, because your margin, you don't have a margin of error. One error could mean you're done. So having that kind of perfectionist approach, of just, I had to get all the little stuff right. I remember my college coaches, I came back, they said I was noticeably faster after my first year. I was like, because I had to run every sprint as hard as I could, or it'd be so glaring that I was so much slower than everybody else. You know, so, but it made me faster. So those little things, and valuing those little opportunities, and opportunities tend to, you know, honor the ones that work the hardest.
You mentioned just the teammates that you kept in contact with. I mean, who are some of the ones that are your favorite from those college
My
teams?
favorites, of course, are Katie Cronin and Jackie Johnson. They're still two of my best friends. So I just saw, where was I? I was just at a game. Where were we at? Oh, Phoenix. And I saw my coach that recruited me to Colorado State, and got to see her. And so that was nice. You know, she was the first one that kind of spoke some stuff into me. You know, she told me before I ever stepped foot on, you know, you're going to be the first All-American. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. You got the mojo. You got stuff you can't teach. You know, she was the first one that kind of like really sewed those things into me. And then I believed them, and then it became dangerous.
Last question. Just want to know how Melissa acclimated to the team, and what have you seen out of her in her time being here?
She's been great. Pretty seamless. She's bright. She picks up on her stuff really quickly. You know, she's producing, which is great. We need some production out of that 5-man spot. You know, and she's learning our scheme. And I think defensively, I've seen a lot of growth. The first couple times she was getting in a lot of foul trouble. She hasn't been in foul trouble for a few games. So those are things that I'm happy with. But she's gonna just get better and better in our system. There's no doubt. She's a baller.
Last question goes to Nikias to close us out.
One more, just a process question for you, Coach. As you mentioned a little bit earlier, that you do try to coach a little bit more by feel versus just looking strictly at numbers. I guess when do you know that it's time to make a change, whether that's a scheme tweak or a rotation tweak, lineup change, whatever the case may be? Like, what kind of goes into actually pulling the trigger on that?
Well, when you're getting your butt kicked in a certain area night in, night out, like, okay, this needs to change. I went in and changed some things defensively about 2-3 weeks ago, and it's been better. Still looking to obviously improve, but it's been better. And I think, you know, a lot of times as a coach, you're just looking for improvement. Are we getting better every day? A little bit every day. And then at some point, I really feel with this group, you know, it's going to click. We have not shot the ball well. That is just numbers. That is that shooting percentages. And like I tell them, when I used to warm up, if I was on fire, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be on fire for the game. And if I missed everything in warm-ups, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna be on fire in the game. Either way, I was gonna be on fire in the game, because it's just numbers. So you know, you keep shooting it. If you're in a slump, don't take bad ones, take great ones. That's the only way to get out of a shooting slump. You don't take more bad shots, you take really great shots and you see the ball go through the hoop a couple times, and that's how you regain that confidence and kind of dig yourself out of that rut. But I change it when I feel like, and I'll change it at halftime, Nikai, if I feel like it's kicking our butt in the game, some certain action. So I think you got to be adjustable in whatever scheme you're doing. If it's not working, it's not working. You got to pivot.
Got you. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.